What's going on, people? Welcome back to Premier League Unpacked, episode 30. We finally reached a milestone. It's only 30, but it's there. You get me? It's 30 hours of hard grind, and we got the boys in the cut. First of all, City's own Bish, it's good to have you back, my brother. What are you telling me?
We're back. I'm back, man. It's been a hard few weeks. I had a sick game last week. I was grateful that you, man, was able to hold it down while I was off the pitch, but feels good to be back by good company, feeling fresh going into the new year. So I'm glad to be here. It's good to see you guys.
My brother. And we got the man here, Patrick, with his blue hat on. You get me? He can't bear to wear red. What are you telling me, dog? Are you good?
Yeah, hashtag never red. Even though Christmas traditionally is a red thing, I can't do it. So yeah, you'll see on my Instagram and Twitter on Christmas Day I had the blue Santa Spurs jumper, and then obviously I got the blue Santa Christmas Spurs hat. So yeah, man, got a rep always. I see
what you need to do is you need to steam off that AI what on your top there. That's
no, listen, we've had like legitimately, all jokes aside, we've had fucking talks and podcasts and everything about this. We don't want this in red, but AIA, that's their logo in it, so they don't want to change it. So it's annoying. We wanted it in blue, or it's annoying. But yeah, anyway, I'm here. Merry Christmas to everyone. Hope you all had a good time, a good moment going into the new year. Hopefully everyone's written down their goals and aspirations for the new year. And let's work towards getting them. And that includes Premsy TV. We want this at the top. Brother. So everyone in the comments and everyone watching, smash a like, comment, share it with your peoples, because let's get the show where it needs to be, man.
My brother, appreciate it. And last but not least, we got the big man up in the place, Gooner Lee. You get me? We've got a little bit to discuss, me and you, haven't we? Fucking hell, after last week, it was a fucking madness.
Listen, man, I'm still happy. Life is good at the moment, man. I can't complain. But yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. I saw even throughout the week, Drewski was wearing a Spurs top, so he's cancelled now. Never ever gonna speak about him. I can't have no one that I like wearing any Spurs clock. Listen, we ain't doing it. We got the guy next to me wearing his fake Santa uniform. But listen, man, get out here, man. I sit behind the screen, man. I don't know anyone that wears blue for Santa or anything to do with Christmas. But anyway,
out and out Spurs fans, we can never wear red. It's just one of them things. Hashtag never red.
Don't worry, folks. I've told you already. Give it a few more months, and I'm telling you, going to bring him on the bright side. You know what I'm saying?
Bro, I'm telling you, I keep saying Premsy, bro. Some people you can't save. I'm telling you, if there was a ship that was going out of space and Earth was being bombed.
Are you telling me Patrick's a Barry from EastEnders and he's being Janine?
Man, certain man are a virus, bro. We got to get rid of these kind of man.
Listen, I'm happy with that. I'm happy with that. Keep it that way. Let's go.
Well, look, boys, let's get into it first. Before we touch on any of our teams, I wanted to touch on Liverpool. As the title says, they've managed to get Gakpo from the claws of Manchester United. And first of all, Bish, I want to ask you, what do you think of that signing? Do you reckon he's going to come into the Premier League, hung, fresh, young kid and hit the ground running? Or do you reckon it's going to take him some time?
I was already a bit confused with the news because it seems like these days the transfer window don't really mean anything because deals get done before the window opens or after it gets closed. It's just like whenever you can make the deal gets made and then it just gets put through when the window opens. So that confused me a little bit to start with, but it's a funny one. I mean, I liked it because I've been seeing how United fans and all the United channels have been talking about United set to sign this Gakpo kid. And so I like just the fact that they had it kind of snatched from under their feet. But it doesn't really strike fear into me from a Liverpool perspective. I think for me, the signing that I was more worried about seeing from Liverpool was Liverpool going out and getting Jude Bellingham. I've been hearing sniffs around that and that might be his destination. And them kind of signings are more of a threat to me. But, this guy, he looks good. He looked decent in the World Cup. Obviously, he's got a good name for himself in Holland. But for me, he's not proven to that level where he strikes fear. And Tim Nunez didn't, you know what I mean? So it's still to be seen. Obviously, it's another attacking option for them. But also, I don't feel like strikers is where they've got their biggest issue. I feel like it's in midfield where they need to rebuild. I think they've got other holes kind of in defensive areas of the pitch and they look a bit unbalanced. And I don't think that's where they needed to add more players. And for me, that's been the story of Klopp and Liverpool the last 12, 18 months is complaining about other teams going out and spending more money or spending money, but them going out and spending big money, but all in positions and not necessarily the positions where they need players. So it's an odd one to me, to be honest with you. But
is it just me, or Bish, are you freezing up on your side a little bit, or is that just me here?
Yeah.
No, like, he's freezing on my side as well. So it's like glitching.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah,
no way.
Fix that aerial, fam. Remember back in the day, that aerial on the TV that you used to be around and that, fam. You know what I'm saying?
Audio or video?
Now and again.
You're distorted. So
Video.
like every minute you're talking, and then it's like it kind of just goes a bit robotic.
Yeah, it freezes. Like even then, it just did it again. It's like you freeze for a second.
Man's moving like Haaland, robotic. You know what I'm saying, fam? But Bish, you try to sort that out.
I'm speaking bare sense as well.
No, it was good. We heard everything, but your picture's a bit. It's the visuals. They're freezing.
Well, whilst Tom's trying to sort it out, let me ask Guna Lee. Yeah, obviously, Agent Van Dijk. This is what we were just saying on the best of the rest on Saeed's channel. If you haven't watched it, go over and watch it. It was a good show. Obviously, I think Van Dijk's probably had a bit to play into getting Gakpo to Liverpool. Obviously, being a prominent figure in the Netherlands side, you know, there's a lot of hype around Gakpo. You know, in the World Cup, he seemed to kind of light it up for Holland in certain senses. We've played against him twice now. Now, what did you see from him in them games? Because one game, I didn't really see much. The second game, I started to see something. What do you reckon?
He's very raw. Like, he's very, very raw. And I think a lot of it's funny because all the fans of clubs actually didn't really want him. They don't really rate him. It's the managers of clubs that are kind of looking for him. So we know that Liverpool fans weren't really too keen on him. They were kind of saying, no, we don't want him. Man United fans were like, no, we don't want him. And it's funny because you got the Agent Van Dijk thing. But if you don't know, the manager of Man United, Erik ten Hag, is actually has the same agent as Gakpo. So it's quite funny that situation has happened. So for me, look, like, I'll be honest, I'm not too sure about the technical security of him. I'm not too sure whether or not he's going to be a player that flatters to deceive. When he played against us, as you said, even in the win when they kind of really trounced us with our big team, he wasn't the standout player. So yeah, I'm not too sure whether or not he's going to be someone who's going to be lighting up the Premier League. But listen, he's still young. He's very raw. He's got the talent, but for me, at this moment in time, with the likes of Jota, Nunes, and now Gakpo, that technical security up front, man, it's not screaming out to me and saying much, bro. I'll be honest with you. It's not screaming out and saying much.
Well, they've got numbers in there. Look, Patrick, they've got cover now, in it. You could say they've got two sets of front threes now, in it. You get me? Where it's give them some sort of depth. Maybe Klopp's trying to rebuild, and we know he's definitely trying to rebuild. But I think, is it more of a, we're not going to let United get him, we're going to go in and get him?
I think so. And yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth, because that's what I was going to say. I genuinely feel that they just didn't want, they basically weakened a top 4, top 6 rival, because they didn't need him. And I agree with what Lee's saying. I agree with what Bish is saying. I don't know, like, me as a rival fan, when I watched Gakpo at the World Cup, he was okay, but I didn't see anything that made me go, oh, this guy's a serious baller, or like, you know, I want him, or I'm going to be scared. I'm not worried that Liverpool have bought him. And even on the TFT show, Terry was saying, oh, when we get Gakpo, you guys should be really scared of us. I was like, really? It doesn't strike me as someone that's gonna, like, when Liverpool got, for example, Diaz, that stroked fear into me. When I don't know, I don't see him, you know, obviously he's young, he's got a lot of in a sense. No, I don't think so. When Aubameyang was doing bits in Germany, like when you guys bought Aubameyang, I was scared. I was worried because that guy was a proven goal scorer. I think
what he was saying is, in terms of when Aubameyang, and obviously Prems, you would know, when we had Aubameyang, if he didn't score, he wasn't in the game. He wasn't influential. He didn't have any hold up play.
Very little, didn't he?
He was very average in terms of his whole round play. But as a goal scorer, the guy was it. And you can think about someone like Son for you. Yeah. If Son doesn't score, he's not really instrumental in the game.
I hear that.
And I was just to interrupt you with that point, because I think, I agree with that as well. I do.
That makes sense then. That makes sense from that perspective.
Do you mind feel like that?
Go on, talking about washed up Aubameyang, he's just come on for Chelsea as well. Just to let you know.
How long's left in the game?
Literally 9 minutes or so. They've got the victory, man.
He's getting literally run out minutes now. That's crazy.
Yeah, garbage time minutes, man.
Yeah, garbage time.
Go on, Bish.
I was was gonna say, do you man feel like that's becoming a more common theme in the Prem? Like teams almost like buying players to spite other clubs, or buying players so another club can't get them. I remember thinking that with the whole Ronaldo United move, that at the time I weren't convinced that was a transfer priority for them, but it was more we don't want City to get him, or I'm trying to reel a few others off the top of my head, but I feel like that's something I'm seeing more often, is like teams buying players to. Yeah,
Luis
go on.
Diaz, when we was going to get Luis Diaz, he was literally coming to Tottenham, and then they went and got him. To be fair, it worked out all right.
Willian as well, and
Willian,
you would know as well, Premsy. Obviously, the same situation happened in the summer. We wanted to go for what's his name from Man United, the centre back.
Martinez.
And then obviously it kind of worked out for us in a better way because we got Zinchenko, but Man United, we were going for him, they came under our noses and got him. So listen, man, it is what it is, man.
Yeah, it happens. Weird, it happens, definitely.
But you know what? At the same time, I feel like clubs are a little bit slower than other clubs to move, and I think the people who have got the more proactive board go in and get the players done. Is like we've been linked to Bruno Guimaraes from Newcastle for a number of years, moved very slow on it, and Newcastle's end up signing him. And we touched on it on Saeed's show with Matty, who's a Newcastle fan, and he loves him over there, saying that he's probably the most influential player that they've had.
Yeah, he said he's his favourite player.
You get me? So I think that's something that we're going to have to live with now, innit? But whilst we're on Liverpool, do you reckon there's any chance that they could get back into this title race? Because a few seasons ago, they were 14 points behind City, end up finishing a point off them. You get me? They look like they are getting a little bit of form now. Even though, having said that, I feel like they were very lucky against Aston Villa yesterday. I feel like Aston Villa played very well. They just didn't take the chances. Leon Bailey, I don't know what the fuck he was on, bro. I'm telling you, he must have had too much chicken for Christmas.
Nah, man, he was an array of nephews, bro. He was an array of nephews, my guy.
He was hungover.
Yo, bro, I'm telling you, mad thing. But let's start with you, Patrick, first. What do you reckon with Liverpool?
Nah, top four, yes, 100% they're contenders for the top four. Title race, no way. They're like, I mean, we're 10 points off you guys and they're below us. So they're probably about 12 or 13 points off Arsenal. So I can't see it, man. That's too much to claw back. And you've got to look at the form of, say, Arsenal and even Man City. They're just winning a lot more games. And yeah, it's going to be too much to ask. Too tall of an order. Top four, 100%, they're definitely in that mix. But to challenge for the title this season, they've left it too late, in my opinion. Well, not too late because there's still a long way to go, but they've got too much to do, and the teams above them are more consistent and better. So no.
Even if they strengthen in January, bring in another midfielder or so, with Gakpo coming in, do you not reckon that can spur them on?
Nah, not really. Unless they buy some absolute quality, then no. And again, you guys will probably strengthen. City will probably do something, I'm sure of it. So everyone around them will still get better. So no, I can't see it personally.
Say no more. Bish, go on. I know that you got a lot to say about Liverpool because you fucking hate them.
No way. No way. I just think for me as well, I think everything, obviously echoing everything that Patrick said, but I think the Arsenal don't look, I mean, Arsenal are going to be a problem anyway for City because they don't look like they're just ready to start dropping points left, right, and center. Do you know what I mean? Like, we're going to probably have to do that real one of like go 3 months just winning straight to even catch up with Arsenal, because Arsenal are moving like how City and Liverpool have been moving in recent years. Then on top of that, City are still City. Newcastle are not playing around. So I think there's just too many teams ahead of them that are already in better positions than them, that would need to do too much out of character stuff at this point in the game for them to even have that runway to get back into the title race. For me, I think top four is still going to be a struggle for Liverpool. I think Tottenham.
Bish, listen, before you carry on, jump out of the stream and come back in because it seemed to get a little bit worse than what it was before. It's very distorted, bro. And I want to get all your information put through because honestly,
let me try. Yeah, you're a bit glitchy. Yeah, come out and come back in. That usually works. Probably some gremlins on the line.
Well, Lee, whilst Bish does that, do you reckon we're being too harsh on Liverpool? Do you reckon everyone's knocking them a bit too much? Or do you reckon, look, they've got a world-class manager in Klopp. They're looking like they want to recruit. They've already been active and signed Gakpo before the window's even open. So there is got to be a few more players to look to come in. Do you not reckon we're being a bit too harsh on him?
Yeah, I mean, firstly, Bish, that's way better, by the way. You look good. But for me, look, I said it last week. I think you asked me, you said to me, "Oh, who's going to get top 4?" And I said Liverpool. I just thought Liverpool got a real strong chance, and I know we were speaking about Newcastle, saying that they got a good chance as well. But I think the title for Liverpool is just gone. It's too far gone. I think if I was to ask all three of you on this panel, do you think Liverpool can win 4 or 5 games in a row without dropping any points? I don't think that you're going to say, yeah. I think that it's going to be a struggle for them to do that. So the consistency for Liverpool, even we alluded to the game against Aston Villa yesterday, I just don't think that they've got enough. They've got that hunger and that fight to go for the title challenge this season. Whether it's the Champions League, because that's easier to kind of navigate, and you kind of have a long time to prepare for that. That's a little bit different. But yeah, for the Premier League, I think it's too much. But I will say, and no shade, this is absolutely no shade right now, I think they've got a better chance for Spurs than Spurs, boy. The way that Spurs look, I'm not too sure that they have enough to do what they need to do this season. So if you were asking me out of Spurs and Liverpool, who's got a better chance, I will say Liverpool at this moment. Yeah.
Say no more. Bish, go on. You're back with us now. You're back clear.
Yeah, you're going to have to let me know. If I start dropping out again, then
it looks good. It looks good still.
Tell me to be quiet. I think it's... Am I cutting again?
No, you seem to be all right. It's just a little judder, but it's a minor. We'll work with it, bro.
Yeah, man. No, I think I was just... it sounded like Guna was just echoing what I was saying. I think it's just too much that they would need to do, and too much that would need to go wrong above them for them to be in that conversation. For me, I still don't think they'll get top 4, to be honest with you. I think Tottenham have still... I know we'll probably get onto Tottenham at some point. I think Tottenham has still got enough. I think Newcastle are just going to ride that momentum to try and hold on to a top 4 place, and then I think it'll be City and Arsenal. Could obviously Liverpool could still get in there ahead of Newcastle, but I just don't know, man. I'm not convinced, to be honest with you.
Do you know what? Yeah, I think we're going to have to wait and see in it. We're going to have to see how it pans out. We're going to have to see who they recruit in January, see if they can go on a run of 5, 6, 7, 8 games unbeaten. I hear what Lee's saying. Personally, I feel like they were still points. I didn't think they were nowhere near the best against Aston Villa, but they were just clinical enough, and that's with the players that they've got in Salah and players like that. Darwin Núñez, for me, up front, the guy's missing chance after chance after chance. You get me? He just looks a little bit shaky. Fair enough, he gets into them positions, but is he clinical like what Sadio Mane was? I don't think so. So I do hear what you're saying. I do think they will definitely rival for that top 4 spot, though, 110%, because other teams around him are not doing too great. And we'll touch on Tottenham next as well, because Tottenham are one of them teams that have come back into the second half of the season, and it looks like they've just kind of carried on where they left off. Rubbish performances in that first half. You get me? Coming back, recuperating in the second half and getting them draws, maybe nicking a win here and there. They probably carry on doing. But let's Patrick start first of all. What does Antonio Conte need for Tottenham to eradicate that out their game? Because it must be a worry for you, bro.
Yeah, we need better centre-backs to begin with. Obviously, when Romero's missing, we see the difference. And Romero next to Dyer kind of... It essentially elevates Dyer a bit, and it makes us believe that Dyer is actually a half-decent centre-back. But when Romero's not there, you just see Dyer. I mean, he's making mistakes anyway all the time, but without Romero, who's classy and can bring him into the game and basically cover his mistakes, you just see how shit Dyer is. Like yesterday, he just shanked the ball for no reason, under no pressure. All he had to do was control the ball and pass it left, right, or even just boot it upfield. Shanked it. It didn't even go out for throwing. It went out for a corner. It was comical in itself. And then lo and behold, we concede from that. So we're just giving away stupid chances for no reason. Opportunities for teams to get in the game or continue to lay, down a marker on us. Against Liverpool, again, under no real pressure, he tried to head the ball back to Lloris. He ended up not really doing either or, left Lloris in no man's land. Salah run onto it, one-on-one. Salah is as clinical as they come. We were 2-0 down in that game, and that was in a game where we were just getting momentum and into the game. For Conte as well, something, I don't know, he has to take some of the responsibility, because in the first half, we never seemed to be at it, and then in the second half, we really turn it on, or we have to go a goal or 2 down to really start playing, and that's a problem. 1 or 2 games, cool, but when it's a consistent pattern, that is a cause for concern. For me, I still feel we've got more than enough to get in the top 4. I just feel that with the attacking players we've got, we shouldn't really have that issue, but it's defensively where I'm a bit worried. Yesterday we were missing Romero, we were missing Lloris, we were missing Bentancur. So those are three of our, that's essentially the spine. Your best goalkeeper, your best centre back, and your best box to box engine room. So that did make a big difference. But I would have still given us enough to beat Brentford away. Obviously, Brentford are a decent team. In the last 2 games they've taken 4 points off City and Spurs. So you've got to give them their flowers. But also at the same time, no excuses. We should be beating them. Do you know what I mean? Could have had a penalty. I don't understand how that wasn't a pen. The guy, Ben Mee, pulled back Harry Kane. He wasn't even looking at the ball. That 9 times out of 10 that's given, even though some will say it's soft. He didn't even try and play the ball at all. He just pulled the man down. We also hit the woodwork. But yeah, man, it's not good. It's not good enough. There's so much I could dissect into it. But it's also a mentality thing. And Conte coming out saying that we don't need centre backs was a real Conte.
He's on a bit of a mad thing though, Conte, sometimes though. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, like I don't know. With Conte, I take everything he says with a pinch of salt, because we definitely need a centre back or two. Tanganga, considered a young player. He's 24 now. Sorry, he's not good enough. I don't care if he came through the academy, if he's local from Enfield. The guy's not good enough, man. He's had ample opportunities, and every season when he's given a run out, he just does the same shit. The guy can't pass to save his life. He can't track players. Ivan Toney was literally as a man against a boy. Every time he got touch tight to Toney spun him, and then he couldn't handle Toney as having to foul him and pull him back. He just looked out of depth. Sanchez is literally Bambi on ice in his shit. Can't do anything. Can't control the ball. Can't run. Can't pass. Eric Dyer is Eric Dyer. I'm just being real, Lee. At the end of the day, I'm just being real. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. You know what I mean?
You know what I'm drinking? You know what I'm drinking, you man?
Yes, fam. Yes.
With all this being said, we're still 4th and we're still in the mix for the top 4. I still believe we'll get 4th, but obviously we're not there. I hate to say it, but I've just got to be real. I like to consider myself a real fan. We're nowhere near Arsenal this year, which pains me to say, but it's true. And obviously City are City. They're way ahead of us. Other than that, we're in the mix, man. I know Newcastle are playing well, but I still think we can catch Newcastle. The thing is with Newcastle, their form this year tells me that they're a serious team, but I need to see it. I need a bigger sample size. Do you get what I mean? I'm not going to believe it yet because I haven't seen them do it over a long enough period. But as it stands right now, they're definitely better than us. But other than that, everyone else is fair play. So I'm not that bothered, but I just have to admit, I mean, I never said we was in a title race anyway. I know a few Spurs fans did at the beginning of the season. I told everyone, listen, we're not. We're probably where we deserve to be. We should be doing better, but also I'm not going to go crazy because we're still where I believe we're going to be. So, yeah.
Get the fucking violins out, mate. That's what I'm saying. Get the violins out, yeah. And everyone start playing them.
Listen. If I'm on this show every week, I'm gonna get a bottle, and I'm gonna write his name on it, bro. And I'm gonna make sure every week it's filled to the top, bro. And I'm gonna just drink his tears slowly.
I can't win at the moment.
Listen, Lee, we'll let you have the last say on Tottenham, yeah. But Bish, Conte is going to be out of contract in the summer, I believe, yeah. Do you see him extending his stay at Spurs, especially if they're not going to be in the running for a title or anything like that? Because you know what Conte is like.
I think this is the key for Spurs, is that I actually think if they can keep hold of Conte and keep him for an extra 2-3 seasons, I think they could be something. I think they've got some components there. I feel like actually, in terms of the key components that are needed to have a team that can challenge for the title, and in terms of a top-class manager, I don't feel like they're actually that many millions of miles away from an Arsenal example. Not to say that they're this season not been a million miles away in terms of performances and in terms of the quality that Arsenal are showing, but I think, it's a bit surreal really to see a Conte team that's having to get its points through coming back from 2 goals behind. It's having to get its points, get points through kind of attacking resilience as opposed to being defensively solid. So that does, on one hand, you could say, well, has Conte lost it, or is it just not a good fit? But the other hand, or the other side says, if he has the time to put right some of them things that Patrick was saying, to get a good defense unit in there, to get rid of some of that dead wood, and to be able to shore them up at the back, then it could be a problem all of a sudden, because they are showing that resilience to come back from behind. They are a threat going forwards. And
Wow, Reece James injured
know,
again. Sorry, Bish. Just
Yeah. Came off and it looks like he's burst the tire, fam. I'm telling you now.
Yeah,
Again,
and he had his hands over his face as well. Yeah,
oh, really?
And he signalled early as well. He signalled to the bench saying, "Yo, I need to get off." And then a couple minutes later,
oh man,
he just
Jesus.
I don't know about yous, yeah, but I don't wish anything nice on any of my opposing teams.
I like Reece James as a player, and I just feel for him.
I do, and as a person, he seems cool.
Yeah, he seems all right. But no, sorry, Bish. Sorry, I just saw that underneath. And
I just was gonna say that I just think I think that's going to be the key component for Tottenham. I think if they lose Conte, then what will happen is that the potential that this team had, you know, the Harry Kanes, the Sons, the star power that could have gone on to do something well in this particular Tottenham era, I think will fizzle out, you know, in the time it would take to get another manager in and rebuild something. And then they'd be back to a complete recycle of waiting for those players to come back through, because Tottenham aren't going to go out and just buy the best players in the world. You have to get lucky and have a generation of players that have either come through the Tottenham ranks like a Kane, or players like Son who've just really hit the jackpot with and managed to hold on to. So if I'm Tottenham, I'm throwing the kitchen sink at keeping Conte and hoping they've still got 2-3 years, maybe some of these top players in this squad to build around and still try and challenge for something. If they lose him, I think it's going to be another 10 years.
And also, Bish, that means backing him in this window that's coming. That means actually adding 1 or 2 quality components, like you said, keeping Conte, but adding. We definitely need another centre back, and we probably need a right wing back, a better right wing. Not probably, we do. Emerson Royale is crap. Doherty's okay, but he's not good enough if you really want to be pushing forward. So, yeah, backing Conte, adding 1 or 2 key components. You don't need to go crazy and add too much in one window, but we definitely need some better quality to really challenge and push on.
Yeah, go get one world-class centre back.
Yeah, exactly. Literally.
Let me bring Lee in, world-class guy. Let me bring Lee in, because as Arsenal fans, as Arsenal fans, it is. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a little bit difficult over recent years seeing Tottenham being above us in certain senses, getting the Champions League and stuff like that. You get me? How are you feeling, bro? You get me? They brought in Antonio Conte. A lot of Arsenal fans wanted him. You get me? At the moment, they're miles away from us. They're 10 points away from us in the league. You get me? Patrick might not think it's too much, but what you talking to me about, fam? Are you telling me, like you said, it's them tears in that bottle, fam? Are you going to be drinking them all season, or what? Are they going to dry up?
For me, look, I this is the perfect quote that's goes around in life. Class is permanent, and then you got all this form is temporary, right? Tottenham, this is Tottenham. Tottenham, they are a smaller club. They aren't the biggest club in London, not even the biggest club in North London. They are a team that are very much overachieving at this moment in time. When you look at Conte, he's going to leave. The reason why he's going to leave is because, unfortunately, the owners aren't willing to do what they want to do. Now, for me, I wouldn't even back him anyway, because I don't think he's as good as people make out. Look at his record at Tottenham. How many excuses do you want to give to him? This season, you went out to Nottingham Forest. There's no excuse for that. The amount of the way that you're playing, for me, there's this Tottenham way. He doesn't fit it. So what is the point? I just don't see what he's bringing to this team, other than the fact that they go down 2-3 goals, and then they normally come back and either draw or win.
His record at Spurs has been good though, Lee. And since he came, when he turned around our season. He transformed our season. But my one point I was going to say is, we know him as a cup manager, right? League manager, not a
he's
league
a
manager. He's a league manager. He's poor in the cups, good in the league.
If he's a league manager, you're not going to win the league. So you brought him in to win anything, any piece of silverware, right?
Correct, and also steady us up as a top 4 consistent top 4 team.
If I'm gonna take that remit, as winning a cup, winning something, because you're not gonna win the league, that is not gonna happen. You've got one of the world's worst managers at winning a cup.
The thing is, though, just to jump in there,
that is fact. You've got one of the world's
I don't know about that, Lee. Yes, his cup record isn't fantastic, but in terms of him as a manager, he's a world-class manager.
Worst.
I know. He's
guy said he's
the world's worst.
Scott Parker, you know.
Yeah, he's one of the best managers in the world. It's proven.
For me, I'll be honest with you. Yeah, we can go off this whole. He's the one of the world's best, but show football and life is all about. Sports is all about what have you done for me lately. What has he done to show anybody he's the world's best? He got a team that was
he transformed our team. Yeah. We were like 8th or 9th when we come in. He was way clearer of us. That's literally within the last 12 months.
Okay,
it's
so what you're
recent.
saying to me,
it's not.
So what you're saying to me is he basically got a team that was from 8th place up to 4th place. Okay, somewhat fortuitously, but in my opinion,
why fortuitously?
We almost gave you the mantle.
No, don't give me that.
Look, you know what? Look. Let me step in, yeah, because you got to give him credit for bringing in 2 guys, yeah, and the 2 guys that he brought in January helped push them for that.
100%.
All I was gonna say is, and I'm gonna leave this here. In my opinion, I don't go off this whole remit as Conte being the world's best or being the 3rd best manager in the league. I'm sorry, but he has done nothing for me to see that he has absolutely changed the way that Tottenham are, and he's making such a difference to the young players or the players that are there. And no one in the team looks better.
But you've got to give him time, though, Lee. Sorry to interrupt. You got to give him the same way Arteta was given 3 years, and now you're starting to see that Conte's only been.
You see with me, right? You see with me. Arsenal fans, they will tell you we were in an utter mess.
That's where I want to go.
We had a lot going on. We had a lot going on in the club, and with the kind of players that we had a lot of rats. You remember we had people snaking out information, team leads, and he said he's going to get the rats out of this club, bro. We had spare stuff going on. Tottenham, you're in a much different position. You're in your golden period. So he's meant to be taking you.
I'm not sure about that. But
no. Let Bish jump in as well, because
let Bish have a say. Because Bish is a neutral. Let Bish have a say.
Because you know me, I love Arsenal, so I'm usually on the Arsenal side. But Guna's giving me United fan vibes now with all this like you're the small club from North London. So I need to jump in. I think I agree with you, Guna. Yeah, about you know, what have you done for me lately? But the flip side of that is also sometimes we get caught with recency bias. And I think the other way of looking at it is there been an Arsenal team in the last 10 years, barring this season, that's been as good as this team that Conte's put together at Tottenham? Probably not. Do you know what I mean? Maybe that Emery team, maybe. But when
we finish second to Leicester, talking about.
Yeah, but even that team was a bit shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, let Bish land.
So I guess what
let Bish land.
Let Bish.
I'm talking about. I'm just saying that I think, you know, it's easy all of a sudden this season with Arsenal having jumped into this whole new category, like we're competing for the title, which. Fair play, I've been giving Arsenal the props all season, but all of a sudden that's put you guys into a new conversation and put a bit of new juice in your body. Do you know what I mean? And I understand that. But up until a minute ago, you know, last season, Prem was ripping his hair out that Arsenal didn't go out and get Conte. And at that point, Prem wanted a Conte to come in and do, to a certain extent, what he's doing at Tottenham, cementing them as a guaranteed. We're going to get top 4 every season. We're going to get Champions League football.
You see my point in this? Sorry to interrupt you. You can see that doesn't work with a manager like that. You can see that this short-term fix. I know he's not a short-term manager.
But why are you saying it doesn't work, though? Lee, sorry, Lee. But how's it not working? We finished 4th last year, and
you know what it is, though, Lee, as well. You do have to give him time, because realistically, when you deep the situation, he's been there for what, a year and a half now. Look at Arteta,
a year, bro. Literally a year.
A year, exactly. It isn't that much. You get me?
Once you have a
few windows,
if you had to tell me now. If you had to ask me, do you trust Conte with 150 million? I'll say no, because
I do. Conte goes out and gets his players. I 100% trust him.
No way.
Bentancur and Kulusevski was people. No one was looking at these guys.
You know what?
You know what? And look what he's done.
You know what's
as long as Conte gets the players, he's.
Do you know what's beautiful about this whole situation? You saw the article in the week come out from Athletic saying, oh, the board, 50% of the board don't trust him. Hence why there's not going to get the backing and all this.
Bro, yeah, Tottenham board is a joke.
No.
Yeah, exactly. Really. That's not listen, really.
Arsenal's board was apparently a joke. When the right man comes in, people understand certain things, innit? And look at some of the sign. Listen, for me, I'm not going to lie to you, bro. My point is that I don't look at Conte and think, I trust you to deliver in those cup competitions or to get the Premier League for Tottenham. So in truth, in truth, the job for what you're doing there is null and void because you're not gonna get.
Can I just say one last thing before we don't want to talk about this too long.
Yeah, we're gonna move on from Tottenham in a moment.
Like Bish said,
no one's getting a word in. Fucking hell.
Arsenal fans, I get it. That you lot are sitting on your perch and you're feeling good and this and that, but to say like literally about cream rises to the crop and form is temporary and class is permanent, all that other stuff. We finished above you the last 7 years. This is the first time you probably will finish above us. So it's such a small sample size of what I said before. So it is though. What are you talking about?
Yeah, 1 minute, Patrick. Yeah, 25 years before that, bro. You don't know where to be.
Literally, right. I'm talking about right now, the here and now.
He's current. Yeah.
And this is the first time you've been better than us. So cool, I get it. But to say all those other little
City needs to just come and humble you, man.
Yeah, I know. Please, Bish, please do your job.
Come on, man. I got words with Pep. We was going to give you a runway, but we might have to come spank you, man.
This is what we love, though, you get me? Because this is why the rivalry, this is why I say the North London derby is the best, you get me? Because even though we're all friends and we're all boys, when it comes down to the two teams, man are throwing left, right, it's uppercuts at each other. It's a bad thing.
One last thing I want to say. I think Conte's doing a good job. It could be better, yes. These up and down wins and this and that has clouded a lot of people's vision and judgment. But to say that he's not doing a good job, we are currently fourth. We finished fourth last year. We could still finish third or fourth this season. And that is cementing us as a top 4 club. And then you go again. And I do trust Conte with the players. If he's backed and given, I don't trust Daniel Levy. I don't trust Enoch, but I definitely trust Conte. But I'll leave it there because we don't want to.
Right, let's move.
I want to know about you, Arsenal, man. I want to know about you, Arsenal.
You want to know about us, man? You want to know about us? We're sitting.
I want to know.
Clear, that's what we're doing.
At half time yesterday, be honest with me, was there a moment at 1-0 down?
For me, there was.
Outplayed. Was there a moment where you was thinking, oh, mate, this is what we're about to do this second half of the season. It's about to unravel. Or did you think we're just going to come back, we're going to win? Was the confidence there?
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to keep it 100 with you, bro. I tweeted it, check my Twitter. You can check my post-match review I did straight after the game. I didn't even wait until the next day, yeah? I did it yesterday. Bro, at 1-0 down, I was calm. Bro, in the first half, we had 72% possession. They had... I think we had 1 shot on target, and I think we had 3 shots overall, right? For me, I was very, very calm. That was a very, very composed and mature performance. And 1-0 down, I think even Saeed tweeted it as well. We was going to win that game. We were absolutely on top of them. And look, my thing is, I'm not going to go into all of these different things. My main thing is every single thing that Arsenal get put in front of them, we now get told, oh, it's going to be interesting when we go 1-0 down at half time against a low block. Are we going to be able to come back? We've done it. We've done it against Leicester. We did it against Fulham. We've battered teams. Brentford, that was our best performance away from home. We battered them 3-0. Spurs go and draw, and they were 2-0 down. I don't actually know. We went away to Chelsea. We battered them. I don't know what more people want to see from us for now us to get some real credit. At 1-0 down yesterday, I was thinking, is it going to be 3? Is it going to be 4? I promise you, I had no worries. Now, look, some of my friends, you might say, do you know what? It was a bit of a worry because he didn't have Jesus. But other than that, the actual team, the way we were playing, Benny Blanco, Saka, bro, Odegaard, absolute quality. There's no way no one can tell me anything about my team no more. I don't want to hear no BS, bro. We are on smoke. And listen, we're going to get to Eddie because we got some talking to do. But anyway, I'm going to keep it quiet.
Listen, look, let me jump in as well because I've got a little bit of a different standpoint from Lee. Yeah, obviously, one of the main things that I wanted to actually get down to is the people need to start taking Arsenal more serious now because, look, I've always been saying since we've been in the first position, look, at the end of the day, man's a winner. We want to win the league. And that should be the aspiration, especially when you're competing so well and you're looking flawless. However, yesterday, where I was worried is in that first half, having 72% possession, we had 2 shots, and one of them on target. Yeah. To me, that was a worry because West Ham in that first half, you got to give them credit. The way they defended and stopped the lines was unbelievable. Now, this was the first game without Gabriel Jesus. Now, what we know Gabriel Jesus can do is, even if he's not getting them goals, he can break the lines very well. And that's what you've seen us struggling with. However, you got to give Arteta massive credit. All wasn't lost for me. I still thought we could come out second half and get the job done. It wasn't all lost. However, Arteta is the man who deserves the credit because he went into that changing room and whatever he said, it was a total different Arsenal team that came out.
And
There was a
Primson,
lot
can I
more
just-
fluidity. One sec. There was a lot
just
more
wanna-
fluidity. Let me
Okay.
just finish off. There was a lot more fluidity. There was a lot more connection between the team. Martin Odegaard stepped it up even more. For me, he was the best player throughout the whole 90 minutes. You get me? But I think Arteta's got to take real credit. And I think that's where people now need to be looking at us. Just like Lee touched on, there's every single week, you're going to get beat by Liverpool. This is a test. Tottenham's a test. This person's a test. That person's a test. Chelsea away test. We come and overstep it. Now it's just January. We can add squad depth and you'll be sure that we'll be up and thereabouts. You get me? We're not saying we're going to 100% win the league, but that should be the aim. Go on, Lee. What was you saying there?
No, all I was going to say on the one point is, I think in the first half, yes, we were a little bit lackadaisical in the final third. And I think we were having those opportunities, but it was just decision making. Eddie didn't hold the ball well in the first half. I think some of the passes in the last kind of moments for Martinelli, Saka wasn't great in the first half. So I think we absolutely dominated and battered them. But I just think we didn't have as many shots because of our mistakes rather than West Ham's defending. But that's just what I saw.
I must have been watching a different game.
I thought Declan Rice was very good as well in his role, but other than that,
I was going to say, I think Declan Rice had your number the first half, and I think he was breaking everything up. I honestly, I guess maybe like you say, the confidence that you was carrying probably made you see the performance a little bit differently. Not to say you didn't see it correctly, but maybe you were seeing through what was happening and you were seeing it was going to come for you. But for me, I guess I asked that question because I was impressed with Arsenal's, how they were able to turn it around. And ultimately, it was a 15-minute period that you went from 1-0 down to 3-1 up. And that's champion behavior. You know what I mean? I've seen City do it time and time again. But I thought that first half, West Ham had a game plan and they executed it perfectly. I thought Arsenal, for all the ball they had, I didn't think they really ever looked dangerous much in that first half.
I agree.
I thought West Ham actually looked dangerous at times with balls over the top, hence them getting that penalty. And I think for me, yes, like you said, you got to give credit to Arteta. Something happened at halftime. I think there was a little bit of, champions make their own luck and you got to ride your luck. The first goal, there was the missed kick from Odegaard, but fair play to Saka. He, took it in his stride and scored. And Fabianski should have done better on the second one. But again, I'm not saying that to say that it wasn't deserved. Again, those are signs of champion teams when you almost seem to be creating your own luck. But I think West Ham as well will look back and think, second half, we got into half time at 1-0. The first half game plan had gone right. They needed to come out with a slightly different game plan in that second half because they knew Arsenal were going to come out differently. And they should have known that you can't do that for 90 minutes. And it felt like that second half, whatever Declan Rice was doing in the first half, it weren't working in the second half. Arsenal were getting past him, getting behind him, getting round him. So all of a sudden, Odegaard, like you say, was getting all kinds of space in that kind of 10-yard space outside of the area. And Arsenal suddenly looked super, super dangerous and Rice kind of went missing. So I think that I agree with you. I do think it was a big, big for Arsenal yesterday, especially coming back from the World Cup because, sometimes you can have a big break like that. And then if you start off with a bad result, it sets in a little bit of doubt in the mind. Is it going to be a different Arsenal this second half of the season? So for them to come back and do what they done yesterday was the first time where I was really like, yo, we're going to have our work cut out to catch these guys. Like it might not happen. They might not let enough slack on the rope for us to even be able to catch them. So fair play to Arsenal. But I think West Ham will be kicking themselves and feeling like if they'd come out and adapted and adjusted a little bit better in that first 15 minutes of the second half, they could have made it more difficult for you, I think.
Yeah, I hear that. Patrick, look, obviously the one thing that I've actually really liked about Tottenham, is the way that they can get themselves back into games because it shows character of a team. You get me? Now, people have also said we need to test Arsenal's character. Arsenal's character has not been tested. They've gone down and we haven't seen if they can overturn that. You get me? Watching that game yesterday, obviously putting all the banter aside, all the bullshit aside, it's just strictly the football in terms of it, yeah. Was you impressed with how Arsenal managed to turn it round in that second half? Because like obviously Tom was touching on then, I was thinking that first half for me wasn't good enough, you get me? And then I thought if we weren't going to come out firing on all cylinders, I thought it was going to be a struggle even to maybe get a draw out the game, you get me? What was your thoughts on it?
I was really impressed with Arsenal, to be fair. First half, he didn't really look at it. And, it showed good character and resilience. You know, it's something that people are saying a lot about Spurs. Obviously, defensively, we're not good. But on the other side, the character, resilience, the fight back, the bite back. Arsenal showed all of that and some yesterday, because even to go down in that circumstances, that can really, you know, lower a team's shoulders and confidence, because it was a fortunate penalty and it's one of them 50-50s. There was a bit of contact. Was there enough to really knock him off stride and make him fall over like that, even when he kind of still tried to carry on? Some referees will give it, some won't. So it was a bit like, at home, you don't really get those decisions given against you. So that was something that maybe Arsenal fans and even the players might be like, today's not our day. But you guys stuck at it. Like Bish said, the first goal was a bit fortunate in the sense that Odegaard miskicked it. Well, it was a bad shot, but the control and touch from Saka was exceptional.
Super.
The way he controlled that and then obviously finished was so accomplished. And then even Martinelli's goal, great goal. From a keeper's standpoint, definitely should do better. But sometimes you just don't expect for a player to hit it in the near post with that much power. So fair play to Martinelli. And then obviously the third goal, that was actually a really good fucking goal. If Kane or Haaland or anyone did that, like, people would be nuts. It was a good goal, man. Again, I'm a football fan first, and I've got to give credit where credit's due. The way he spun the defender, and then obviously like low and hard across the keeper, that was a top goal, man. So Arsenal played some really good footballing moments yesterday. It's the first time. I mean, I don't watch you guys every week because obviously I'm watching my team as well. So I don't know if you've gone a goal down in the game, but to go from a goal down to 3-1 up and be cruising, you got to give players credit. And to be fair, I think every Arsenal player yesterday played well. I don't recall anyone having a bad game. Ben White looked really good.
To be fair, for me, I think Thomas Partey for me wasn't at it, you know, yesterday.
Really? I thought he
wasn't at it, bro. Nah, man, he kept giving the ball, the ball away, man. He wasn't at it for me in that first half.
I'm telling you
Yeah,
guys.
Rice and Paqueta are his number.
He does this on purpose, guys. I'm telling you, bro. He likes to get onto me. He likes to try and rattle me, but you're not gonna do it this week. You're not gonna do it this week, Premsy. You're not doing it.
I thought he was all right.
Nah, bro, this is just my opinion because I've got to think. I'm used to seeing Thomas Partey, yeah, and I'm sure Lee can agree, dominating midfield. Yeah. Thomas Partey grabbing the ball and basically,
but he's up against Declan Rice. Declan Rice is for me though, Thomas Partey's quality is a lot more than Declan Rice's, and that's just the God's honest truth. But in that first half, I was seeing Kieran Tierney being the last line midfielder more than Thomas Partey. I don't think his final ball was there. In the second half, yeah, he grew into it. The whole team grew into it. You get me? But from the standard that I've got of Thomas Partey, you can see he was a little bit below the par. You know what I'm saying? Other than that, I think everyone did have a good game. Do you know what I'm saying? But just before we do move on from Arsenal, yeah, I got to put my hands up to Lee. Yeah, last week, yeah, we were at it. Eddie and Ketia, yeah, I'm telling you, man had no faith. You get me? No faith. But look, Lee told me that, Premsy, chill out, man. Chill out. I'm telling you, Eddie's going to come and he's going to come good. And you were right. Obviously, you still got to be consistent enough. And this doesn't change anything. We definitely need to get another forward in, because if Eddie Nketiah gets injured or he gets a red card, we're pretty much stuffed. But, bro, I take my hat off to you. You get me? You've shown the faith. You get me? I must have been polishing his shoes or something last week. I don't know. You get me, Dag? But talk to me, man. Talk to me. This is your guy, man. Give us your piece on him.
I'm just saying one thing. Patrick, you will attest to this. All I said is just give him a chance to play with the A team.
That's all I said. Yeah.
I said when you're playing around some of the B team players, your level might drop a bit. You're not getting the service. And my thing with Eddie Nketiah is he takes 20 minutes to warm into a game and make his mistakes. Once he's done that, you see the quality. In the second half, bro, look at his holding up the ball. Look at his link-up play. Look at his touches off, the interplay, and that finish itself, the movement, swivel hips, less touches in the box, one shot bang. Get out there, bro. I'm telling you now, if Julian Alvarez scored that, he's a world class. Eddie Nketiah scores that, it's lucky. Listen, I'm not saying no more, man.
To be fair, no one's trying to throw out luck out.
I said it's luck, and I even said it.
Man, try to draw out a City player every time.
Yeah.
No, I like Julian. I like him. I'm just saying it.
No. That wasn't luck. That was a
consistency is the question, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
give him a chance. All I was saying is give him a chance, bro. We can't give this whole bro, man's not
especially
good
with a
enough.
young player.
Yeah,
You're right.
bro. Let
You're
him
right.
warm up, man. Every minute he's playing in Europa League garbage time minutes in the Premier League, and we're expecting not Tremsey, but we're expecting him to get 4, 5, 6 goals in 20 minutes, bro. It's
I hear that.
impossible, bro.
I hear
Come
that.
on, man.
Let me ask.
It's not that. It's just when he does come on, I want to see something. Like you just said, it takes 20 minutes for a man to warm up. When he comes on for 20 minutes, he hasn't given
That's
me
not
that
enough.
kind of belief to say, if in the full game, he's going to go and do something. I even said last week, I'm going to back Eddie Nketiah. I want him to change my mind because at the end of the day, I support every single Arsenal player that's there. Whether they're doing well or not, you get me? At the end of the day, I'm there for my mind to be changed. Now, if you're going to sit here and tell me that Gabriel Jesus being out is not a worry to you, bro, then all fool you, fam. You get me? Because what he's added to our team has been unbelievable. And that's a big part of why we're at the top of the table. And what I am going to give Eddie Nketiah credit for is yesterday, he adapted his game. Do you remember when I was telling you he needs to adapt his game and do a bit of what Jesus was doing? And you were saying he's not that guy. He's a different striker. And I'm saying nah, but when you're playing into a system, you got to adapt to that kind of play. And that's what he did. And to be fair, he did it well. But before we move on to City, go on, Bish. What was you going to say then?
I was just going to ask you Arsenal fans a question. Knowing that when you know that Arsenal historically, the board have kind of tried to avoid sometimes signing players in a window unless they feel like they have to, or they feel like there's a pressure there to do so. So with you knowing that you need a striker, are you both in agreement that you would like an extra striker? Guna, you obviously got more faith in Nketiah, but do you feel like that's an addition that would
100%,
help you push on for the title? So I think the question I was going to ask is, if Nketiah now goes on a run, had a great game yesterday, scored a goal. If he goes and scores a goal in the next game, the game after that, is there a worry then a little bit that like the Arsenal board and Edu and that kind of almost hide behind that and think we can get away without getting an extra striker? Like, would you also like it if Nketiah had cooled off a little bit for a few games but you were still getting over the lines with the wins? So you feel like it was easier to apply the pressure to an Edu and that to say, look, Nketiah's there, but he still needs more time. We need another striker. As opposed to if he goes on a hot streak throughout January and everyone starts saying, oh, we don't need another striker. We've got Nketiah. Do you get what I'm saying?
For me, I was happy with Nketiah to stay, bro. I'm good with that, bro. I think he's good enough. He just needs minutes. He just needs a chance. I think
so
the more pressing issue. No, I wouldn't add a striker. I would add a forward player that can maybe play, because we still got ESR that needs to come back into the team. And we've still got Fabio Vieira that came on for the last 3 minutes, I think. And then I think the main issue with me is a DM. I was really looking for that replacement for someone like for Partey when if he gets injured. That was my concern. But listen, I really think that Eddie's a good player, man. I wasn't high up on him last season, but I've seen something from this guy, man. He's training hard. He's playing well. I like the player, man. I'm not gonna lie. He's got 11 goals and 11 starts for Arsenal at the Emirates, bro. I don't know what more you want from the guy, bro.
Do you know what? Let me jump in as well, because I hear what you're saying, Bish. Are Arsenal going to be the Arsenal of old that are going to mask, not getting a signing because Eddie Nketiah is doing well? But I think yesterday you clearly see that the only attacking option that we really had to come on and impact the game was Fabio Vieira. Other than that, we had Marquinhos, who's a young lad, and there was no other attacking option. So regardless of if Eddie Nketiah is playing well or not, we have to dip into the market because we need squad depth. And I think this Arsenal team and group of board members are thinking differently. They're not the same kind of board that it was over the last couple of years. So regardless if Eddie Nketiah is firing, which I want him to fire, because if Eddie Nketiah is firing, Arsenal's firing, you know what I'm saying? But I think they're not that daft to know that if Eddie Nketiah gets a red card or if he gets injured, then we're pretty much fucked in it when you deep the situation, because he's already said, Arteta, that he doesn't see Martinelli as a striker at all. He likes him coming off the left and he's a lot more effective, which, to be fair, a lot of Arsenal fans do agree with. So I think Lee is right. We might not be going out for an out-and-out striker, but we'd probably be going for, say, a winger slash...
A forward.
Basically, like a Felix. That's why we've been linked to him, like a Felix. But let's move on now, because we've only got a few minutes left before we wrap it up. Obviously, United's going to be kicking off very shortly as well, and we're all going to try to get to watch that and see United get done. But Patrick, I'm going to touch with you now for Man City. Yeah, do you feel that Man City are they're to be beaten at times this season, because normally we see Man City growing into the league. You get me? But they just got beat by Brentford in their last Premier League game. Do you reckon that
Yeah,
this is the best opportunity now for Arsenal to pounce on him?
I hate to say it, man, but it's like Arsenal in their Super Saiyan moment where we need Man City to essentially be that, you know, that rival and that enemy to really knock Arsenal off their perch. This is the most susceptible. I'm trying to pronounce the right word. But this is the most vulnerable Man City version of Man City I've seen in a while. And I know we're only 14, 15, 16 games in, so of course that can change. And I was told as well that this time last year or even 2 years ago, Man City had less points, but still went on to win the league. But this is the most vulnerable I've seen City, and it scares me because Arsenal have also upped it such a big level. So I'm hoping City can turn it on. Yes, they got beat by Brentford in their last game, but who they got? They got Leeds tomorrow, right? Or on Thursday. So really and truly, Man City should beat Leeds and they should batter them. And I'm just hoping Man City can go on a run because Arsenal needs some sort of competition. And I don't believe it can be Newcastle. I know Newcastle in second. Realistically, if it's not City, then Arsenal will essentially walk the league if they continue in their form. So I'm hoping City turn it on. Obviously, Haaland's been on bits. We need Kevin De Bruyne to be the Kevin De Bruyne that he was before the World Cup and not the Belgian version. And then obviously you need the other players to start stepping up. Grealish, I want to see more from him. We know how good he can be. Gundogan is obviously a classy player. Bernardo Silva is fantastic. Foden, for me, is brilliant. The defence of Man City this year hasn't been as good as it usually is. That's probably where their weak points are. Diaz and Laporte haven't looked as convincing as they usually are. So yeah, that's probably where I'd say the weakness is. But you can never write off Man City. That's the problem. You can never write them off. They're just so good, and they can go on a run of 5, 6, 7, 8 games. You know, Arsenal look to be doing that at the moment as well. But yeah, I would say City do look a bit more vulnerable than usual, but it's Man City, man. So do you know what I mean? At any moment they can turn it on.
Nah, yeah, that fun. But look, Bish, we'll come to you and we'll finish off with Lee. I got a question for Lee to finish off with, yeah. But look, Arsenal, I think that's 13 games that we've won, drew one, maybe and lost one. So we're doing very, very well at the moment. Obviously, you guys are just being relentless for the last God knows how many seasons, just fighting there at the top. Do you honestly believe, as a City fan, that you're in a title race with Arsenal now?
Wait, what do you mean? As in, do I think we've still got a chance?
No. Do you honestly believe it's just going to be like Arsenal and City? And do you reckon Arsenal have got the capability to cope with the kind of momentum you guys are going to bring to the end of the season?
I think it's been a 2-horse race for me since probably November time. I've been taking Arsenal serious for a minute personally, and I honestly feel like I don't know if I feel like Arsenal are the favourites at this point, or I feel like they're in the driving seat. I feel like we have to do something special to win this back. I think we're capable of it. I think one of the key turning points, it could be the fact that we've not played Arsenal yet. We were meant to play you at the Emirates on my birthday in October. It got cancelled, so we've not played you at all yet. So we don't play you until mid-February for the first time. So there's about 8-9 games until then. So if during them 8-9 games, we are able to close that gap even just by 3 points, I think that we will win both of the games against Arsenal this season. That's not to say that I think we'll necessarily win the league. I just see that being part of how the storyline pans out. I think we will beat Arsenal in both times when we play you. I think the question...
it's crazy that, because I was going to ask that to Lee last.
Yeah, I think the question for me is going to be, what does the gap look like by the time we're playing? You know, if the gap's 7 points now, is it 7-8 points between us? Obviously, we've got the game in hand, I think.
Points,
so it's 7 with us having the game in hand. But you know, if we drop points in the next 8 games before we play you, and you guys continue to not drop any, which could happen, we've still got Chelsea away during that time. It's another tough game we've got in there. 8, there you go. So that makes sense because it's 5. It was 5 before, during the break, wasn't it? So, you know, anyhow that gap gets any bigger, if that gap grows to 7 or 8 by the time we play you, then that adds a different dynamic that game because you guys kind of know you can afford to lose. And 2, it don't really matter as much if we can beat you. But I think if we can keep that to 5 points, say, or even close it a bit, then we play you in February and beat you. And now it's 1 point or 2 points. The feeling can change quick. Do you know what I mean? And the team that's been there before and done that chase versus the team that's been in this position for the first time, that's still got some young players, that's got the thinner squad, the vibe and the feeling can change pretty quickly. So I think Arsenal are a serious threat, to answer your question. And I think that they are, for me, are in pole position right now. It's theirs kind of to throw away. But I still feel confident that we will give you a good run for your money and that it could go all the way.
Right, say no more. Finally, Lee, this is what I was going to ask you, yeah? Last season at the Emirates, Boxing Day, for me, Arsenal were a much better team than Man City. Rodri scored in the last minute to nick them the victory. Yeah, obviously, man was gutted. This is a different Arsenal outfit now. When we play Man City, do we have the capabilities of going toe-to-toe and beating them? Because if we do, that's going to put us in a very good position.
Listen, I've said it all along. I've said it after the Tottenham game. I said it after the Liverpool game. We ain't losing at home this season. Man City are getting bopped. I'll be there. So I've said it. I don't know why.
I'm set to be there as well.
You're not losing at home.
Arsenal are, we're different, bro. I don't understand. And my main thing I was going to say this is, you see the home fans at home. It's not a joke. It's not like people keep like trying to make it out like we're some washed up fan base and we don't listen. We're different. Like Premsy, you know, you've been to the home
different gravy.
Right now, we are moving different, and the way we play at home, bro, like it's world class football that you're seeing. And Man City, you're used to this. You've been doing this for a period of time. But listen, I don't think you faced a footballing side like ours in the last 4 or 5 years in the Premier League. And Liverpool, fantastic team, but they didn't play football like us. And listen, it's going to be a great game. It's going to be a great battle. But you're going home. You're going back on the choo-choo train back to Manchester with a big fat L in your pocket, man. So hold that.
Is that what you're shouting? Should we get? Can I get? Go on. I need a score prediction as well because I'm saying 4-0 City.
You're saying
that's madness, bro. That is the craziest.
With
4 or 5.
With everything you're saying, Lee, about not playing a football team like this in the last 4 years, not losing at home, you think you're going to win the league? Then I take it.
No, I didn't say that. I said at home we're not losing a game. I'm definitely not losing.
You're just going to lose bare away.
No, we might drop points away from home. No. We could drop points away from home. That is. You asked me the game that we play you because we play you out for home first in February.
Yeah.
You're losing. You're going to lose that game. We're gonna give you something to hold, innit?
I want to score.
I love the confidence, my brother. I love it.
Because we'll clip it. We'll clip it and take it back.
Listen.
Nah, but look, there's no.
Nketiah thing. I was right with the Nketiah thing. People need to hold that.
Look, when you deep it, look, yeah, you can't. I know for a fact, Man City fans, yeah, when they come to the Emirates, yeah, even though Bish is confident saying 4-5-0, I know every single Man City
he didn't
fan.
say. When did Bish say 4-5-0? When did he say that?
Just a minute ago. I said 4-0. Yeah, I'm shouting 4-0. 4-0.
Exactly.
No, that's wild. That's wild.
I think man are coming to burn the place down, red wedding style.
Bish, you gotta be realistic.
Yo, remember it. Let's clip it. Let's clip it. Clip it. That's why I'm asking man to give me the predictions so we can pull it back and be like, Bish said I win by 4 or 5 goals.
I think it'll be a tight game. I think Arsenal at home will get the win. I think the fans will just get us over the edge. But don't get me wrong, it's not going to be an easy game. We've got to respect Man City of who they are. But all this 4-5-0 bullshit, bro, I'm telling you, I'm going to slapping you on the head when I see you at the fucking at the Emirates, bro. You know what I mean?
It's absolutely madness. Anyway, I'm going to say we'll probably win 3-1. I think we'll win 3-1. Okay. Man City ain't a team that people need. Anyway, listen, I'm not getting into it, man. I'm not doing it.
Right, well, people, look, the time is up now, yeah. I just want to say a massive appreciation to everybody in the comments, a massive appreciation to Bish, Patrick, and Lee. Make sure you smash a like on this video. Bish, tell them where they can find you. Tell them about City Zone.
Champions of England. That's who we are. Just had to throw that in there at the end. Yeah, man. You can find me on Instagram, Thoughts of Bish. You can find me on the YouTube City Zone. As you can see, I went out, done a bit of Christmas shopping, got a little backdrop going. So
it's good.
The content will be coming in hot soon. And yeah, man, it feels good to be back with the gang. Feels good to have a Tottenham fan here with me as well, because I starting to realize that I was getting a bit like crowded out by Arsenal.
Yeah.
energy, and
Getting
now it's,
jumped out
now,
here.
yeah, and now it's actually, it used to be fine because Arsenal, I used to just be able to love Arsenal from a distance, like
Yeah,
wish
but
them
now
well
they're
down
serious,
there in
innit?
the step, and now they're around the way again.
Get
So
it.
yeah,
And what
feels
you've
good
not
to have that
realised,
balance.
there's 11 of us in this little stream here. We got Lee's like 10 man
hiding.
over there. You get me, fam? So wait, there's 11 of us. You know what I'm saying, fam? But nah, look, bro. People, make
I
sure
love
you
it.
go and click on City's own in the link. It's in the title, and go and subscribe to his channel.
Mm.
Patrick, tell them where they can find you.
Yeah, so Patrick Tyrant, Tyrant on Instagram and Twitter. Follow me by all means. Interact and follow you lot back on there. And then my YouTube channel is Chatty Patty. So Patrick Tyrant on YouTube. Give me a subscription and a follow and a like and all of that. And yeah, man, Happy New Year, everyone. Merry Christmas. Let's get a cracking. Premier League is back, and as you can see, we're all riled up, and it's going to be nothing but tears, banter, and lots of fun.
Again, people, make
Look
sure
at
you
that.
click on Patrick Tyrant. His channel link is in the description. And make sure you go and subscribe and follow him. Top geezer, even though he's a Tottenham fan, nothing but love. Honestly, you get me. I don't know what that Santa hat's about, you get me, but go make sure you go and support him and follow him.
Hashtag
Big Lee.
never read.
Hey, fuck it, I'm gonna put you on mute, fam. Big Lee, talk to him. Tell him where they can find you.
Listen,
Tell him
man,
about
yeah,
your channel.
You can find me on my YouTube page, Guna Lee. You find me on AFTV. I'll be there Friday. Obviously, I will be doing some stuff with Patrick. Hopefully in the future, he has got some good content, but he's not a nice guy. Just want to add that in there. And you will 100% see me, 100% see me on February the 15th because we are playing Man City. And they're gonna hold a big fat L. So
Let's do it.
Jeez.
We'll have to
Now,
take a group
people,
picture
make
outside
sure
the ground
you go
after full
and
time.
click the link
Yes,
in
man.
the title and subscribe to Guna Lee as well. You're not far from McKay now as well, innit?
Yeah, literally probably about 110 or something like that, even less. So yeah, listen, I'm on the way to 1,000, man.
Let's get it.
Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's make
There
that
we go,
happen.
people.
Come on, guys.
But
Yeah,
you've heard
yeah.
it here, man. This is hopefully
But
going
they're
to be a
both
regular
knobheads, man.
show
They're
now.
both knobheads. It doesn't
It's,
matter.
it's going to be hopefully a regular show on Monday, 8 o'clock on Monday. Obviously, we have changed the time because of the football getting kicked off and all of that. But people, peace and love, and we'll see you on the next one.
Peace, man.